Okay, hey all, Big Daddy B-Man here. Okay, this is very, very different from what I've been working on more recently. It's a big step in a different direction. Okay, if you're not familiar with PVZ Heroes, it's a mobile card game kind of thing. I've heard it's been compared to Hearthstone a lot. I do recommend it. It's quite a bit of fun. Uh, and this is what I'm showing you is it's this is the same. It's basically the same thing, but I've created it in real life, so it's not digital. I have the actual cards as you're going to see, which are all drawn by me. Um, okay, let's start with the basics before we get into the cards. So to play PVZ Heroes, it's a two-player game. Which it's the plant player versus the zombie player, or plant hero versus the zombie hero. Um, you each start with 20 health, and to symbolize the health, I have these boxes full of beads, and so this way, whenever you get hurt, you will take out the beads corresponding to how much damage you have taken. There's also the block meter, which I've recreated with this little thing. There are two, one for the zombie and one for the plant. So whenever you get hit, it spins to the next color, and once it goes back to the color it started on, which is green in this case, you block the damage that you would have taken, and you get a superpower, which I will show off some right now. Actually, I don't really... Well, okay. I don't have all the superpowers done, but I have some for 3 heroes so far, which are Electric Boogaloo, Rust Bolt, and Nightcap. And those are their signature superpowers, which are hero-specific. Only Nightcap can use Nightcap superpowers. Only Electric Boogaloo can use his power and stuff like that. And they also have like other superpowers, which aren't really their signature ones, but they have other superpowers too. And they each have 4 altogether, including their signature superpower. Now, so let's start with Nightcap, okay? He's the only plant hero I have the superpowers for, and this is where we're gonna start getting into cards. So, Nightcap he controls the Smarty and Kabloom classes. So there are classes of plants and zombies, and each class has their own selection of cards. So he's Kabloom and Smarty. I have at least 4 cards for each class. Right now, I will show you the Kabloom class. Some of them are colored and laminated, some of them are not, as you can see with the superpowers. So there's Wild Berry, Button Mushroom, Sour Grapes, Shelf Mushroom, and Berry Blast. So first, we'll look at Button Mushroom because it's very simple. It costs 1 sun at the start of so to really to get into more mechanics of how the game works is first the zombies play. Like at the start of the turn, the zombies play. So we'll put a little backup dancer guy right here. Or I'm not gonna keep him there because I'm lazy. Then the plants play, and at the start of every turn, so on turn 1 you only have 1 brain and 1 sun, and then the plants then turn 2 you have 2 brains or 2 sun. So the game and the cards have cost, so you can only play them on certain turns. then the plants play, and then so this button mushroom, and then zombies play tricks. So plants have tricks too, but the difference is that plants can play tricks and plants all in one. Zombies play zombies first, then the plants play, and then zombies play tricks. They do it separately. Plants do it all at once. And then after tricks, which the zombie can't play any tricks because he already spent his brain on the backup dancer, combat happens. So these two, they take each other out, and then they're gone. And for the sake of this game, in the real life version, you would shuffle them back to the bottom of your deck. And now it's turn 2, and to show off what a trick is, I have Berry Blast, which it's a 2-cost trick. It's a tricks are one-time use cards, and they have a special ability. This one is just simply do 3 damage. You can do 3 damage to a zombie, or do 3 damage to the zombie hero. You pick what to do it to. I do have at least one trick for every class, and all the other ones are just minions, as most people call them. I don't have any environments yet, so environments, you can only play them in the ground lane, which, speaking of lanes, the one on the far left is the Heights lane, which is basically ground lane, except you can't play environments on it, and a few cards get special benefits from it. The middle 3 are all ground lanes. You can play environments on them in the original game. I have not yet created environments, but I think it's a possibility in the future. And then the far right is the water lane. So the water lane is only cards with amphibious can be played on it. Let me find an example from amphibious card. Here, this is a nice little segue too. Laser Cattail is amphibious. Only certain classes can use amphibious, which would be the Guardian class, the Smarty class, which as I was saying, segue back into Nightcap, but we'll get them in just a second. And on the zombie side, only Beastly and Sneaky can use amphibious. So, when you pick your hero to play as, you can only use the cards of that class. So, Nightcap can only use Kabloom and Smarty. So he can only use the cards the Kabloom cards, which I've already showed you, and these Smarty ones, and he mixes them all up. He's the only one who can use the combination of these two. Other heroes can use them, but not in this specific combination. For example, like I said, he's the only plant hero I have done, but the face of Plants vs. Zombies, right? Green Shadow, she's kind of like a mascot. This is for the plant side. She is Mega Grow and Smarty, so she can use Smarty cards and Mega Grow cards, which is another class. And because of this, each hero has their own unique synergies and strategies, and so that's pretty cool. Like Electric Boogaloo, one of the zombies, he can only use Beastly and Crazy, and then Rustbolt, he can only use Hardy and Brainy. So because of their different classes, they have very different play styles, and are just very different. So yes, a few more things I'd like to show off is, let's look back at Nightcap's superpower. So it's a trick. Most superpowers are tricks. Almost all of them are tricks, with a few slight exceptions. The trick says to make a 1/1 poison mushroom with anti-hero 2. So because it makes a minion, I have a little mini card right here. It has a little tiny drawing of the poison mushroom, the sun cost, which is 1, the damage and health, and the trait, which is anti-hero 2. Anti-hero is a trait, which means if there are no zombies in that lane, it gets +2 strength. So if there's nothing in front of this poison mushroom, it'll do 3 damage instead of 1 damage. So some cards are like that, where they make other minions for you to play. So that for those cards, I have like the superpower and like Disco Zombie here. They have these little pockets, and with the zombies in them, you can take them out. It makes a backup dancer, right? And it'll put it wherever you want. just like in the game. Another thing is that in the original game, there's a lot of randomness, like a very large amount of randomness that I cannot such replicate it in this version. I don't have the few cards that I have made that are random. I have to have changed them. For example, Cosmic Yeti. So in the original game, Cosmic Yeti, when played, it conjures a pet, and the pet gets +1/+1. So conjuring is you get a random card in your hand of that type. So it conjures a pet, and there are many pet zombies that it can conjure. It conjures one randomly, and it gets +1/+1. That's a special ability. That's random, right? You can't do that in a card game. It can't like go through a pile of all the pet cards in the game. It's just not. It's not really possible. So I had to change the ability to, when played, a pet gets +1/+1. So in that case, it means a pet that's already on the field gets +1/+1. For example, Skunk Punk right here. He's a pet zombie because he has skunks. So if he was already on the field and you play Cosmic Yeti will give this guy +1/+1. So now he's a 2/2 instead of a 1/1. Some more randomness would be, firstly, Dance Off, which is one of Electric Boogaloo's superpowers. It makes 2 backup dancers in random lanes, which that's random because random lanes. So in this, you have to pick the lanes the backup dancers show up in, which is, I mean, it's what else can you do, right? And I mean, maybe we can implement like some kind of die roll system. I don't know. And then Wildberry in the game, it is when played, move this plant to a random lane. At a change it to just move the plant, so you get to pick where it goes. It's so because of this, lots of cards are just impossible to replicate, like Malakale or like Cornucopia. It just, which unfortunately takes a lot of the fun away out of the game, because I think conjuring is some of the most fun stuff you can do if you get a really good card. But there's not much you can do about it. From here I'm going to keep making more superpowers, because I want people to be able to play as more than just Nightcap, Rust Bolt, and Electric Boogaloo if they want to block, because without blocking, it's a lot. Games are a lot faster because you can't block the damage. It's a lot less fun. Yeah, so I will keep making more superpowers. And just more cards in general. Another thing, for the small number of you who watch my channel for My Singing Monsters content, it's still coming, okay? The next monster, it'll probably be out tomorrow, hopefully, maybe the day after. I know it's been a while. But Parched Plains, it's still happening. Don't worry. I was just super excited because I'm really proud of this to share it with you guys. So, but yeah, Parched Plains is still gonna happen. It's almost done, and now it's just a quad left. But I've kind of, I guess, rediscovered my love for PVZ Heroes. See ya then. Have a good day. Thank you for watching.